Hello, my name's Fran. Welcome to MyBoxingCoach.com. Today we're going to look at the pivot and the angled side step. Recently I did a few videos, one on some guided drills on how to use the pivot, and the other one was some guided drills on how to use the side step. And I had people ask, well, which is best? When do you use one versus the other? In this video we're going to answer those questions. At the end of it, you're going to be able to really understand how you can use your pivot and how you can use your angled side step. Before we start, why don't you go and download your book, join the thousands of others who've downloaded the Beginner Boxer Toolkit. There is a link down below, and I will put a link at the end. In there you get all kinds of stuff: mindset, setting up your training regime, how to set up your own home gym. You've got the 10 core skills, all with videos included. Power, speed, heavy bag work, shadow. You're going to find everything in there to help get you started on your journey. Okay, so let's get going. I'll quickly talk through our floor pattern. We've got a central line going down the middle. That is for the line goes from our toe on our front foot to the heel on our back foot, and it gives us that good offset. We don't want to be here because we're walking a tightrope. We don't want to be here because we're too square, especially at long range. So that line goes up the centre. Then we've got these two lines going here, and they're coming off at about 45 degrees from that centre line. They are for our pivot. And then we've got these other two lines, which are probably off straight, maybe 15-20 degrees, and they are for our angled side step. So let's look at the pivot. If I want to pivot that way, it's a push off this rear leg, and then the line on the floor goes from the toe to the heel. That's the aim of what we're doing. The front foot has to spin as it goes round, yeah? Don't like sort of keep the front foot still. You need to keep that front foot at 45 degrees. So to push there, we don't want to overbalance forward. You want your weight to sort of collapse backwards there, and then we drop back onto our back leg. Same that way, it's kind of, because of the offset, you're still able to push off this leg to go that way. So it's there, and again you're collapsing back. We don't want to tilt forward. So from there, push off that leg, push across there. Hands high, line goes from the toe to the heel. Really simple. And then the angled side step, we just want to aim to be here. So going that way to push off that leg, cross, line, it goes from the toe to the heel. Of course, we could just do a straight side step, which would be there, but actually the reason we like the angled side step is because you can fire and you're still able to zero in on the target, which is here. Very slight adjustment, but definitely important. And then to go that way, push off that leg, cross we go, line going from toe to heel. Cross, cross, and you want to be as close as you can be. Don't become fanatical, right? They're the drills, they're the skills to be executed. And the key difference, of course, is that with a pivot, that front foot stays on the centre line. Wherever I'm going, I can pivot round, all the way round, but each element you can pivot straight round into 90 degrees. The front foot always stays in that position, and obviously with an angled side step, the front foot moves from that fixed position. That's the difference. Some mechanical differences in how you do it, but that's the key difference. Okay, so there you go. So let's think about the scenarios. The side step, mostly used in an offensive capacity. It's not really a defensive skill. You're looking to really works well against static opponents. So if you've got someone who's like just standing there waiting to really attack, their feet are not mobile, they're not doing lots of movement, fix with a just shot, or you can fix with a couple of shots. 1, 2, 3, push across. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2, 3. So it's about fixing the opponent with the first shot. You can even fix them with a feint. And this is all about the opponent being still, standing in the static position. So it could be 1, cross, 1, 2. Yeah, just that ability to shift across, mostly offensive, and it's all about fixing the opponent in position and firing. And of course, that then means that really you're throwing shots before the move and after the move, not really during the move. Right, so it's bang, cross, bang, bang. Shots before and after. You don't really combine the skill with other skills, so it has to be used in sequence. You can, there's a slight sort of condition on that one. For example, I can, if I'm want to sidestep this way, I can step across, bang the shot, and then come across there. That's actually a really good way of getting extra power on that backhand. You step across with that leg, and then come across there. So that's kind of, you know, combining two skills, overlaying the punching skill on top of the movement skill. But generally speaking, it's in sequence. Shot before, shot after. And it's mostly long range. It's primarily most effective at long range. Yeah. So you're out here. You can do it at mid range as well. Boom. Yeah. But once you get up to close range, the opponents will experience, if you're orthodox versus an orthodox. So if I'm at close range, if you think about it, you're an orthodox boxer. We're right up close. Your lead leg is going to be here, right? So it's difficult for me to sidestep across because our legs clash. Our legs sort of block each other. Slightly different if I'm boxing a southpaw. So if you're a southpaw, I'm going to be trying to get my lead leg over here. So your lead leg is up round about there. I can push across, bang. So I've pushed into the safe zone. You can't really hit me while I'm here. And then I can let my backhand go. But mostly we see it used at long range. The pivot is at all ranges. You know, the pivot works well. Close range, mid range, and long range. For all kinds of reasons. Close range, you can be there, you can just slight little movements back, pivot round. It just allows you to constantly shift your position off the centre line while still enabling attacks against the opponent. It's offensive and it's defensive. You can use it in both settings. You've got a really aggressive opponent, bang, push back, up and away. You deflect attacks. Yeah. Push back, pivot, move. Push back, pivot, move. So you can change the lines that you're shifting away. From an offensive point of view, bang, 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 bang. So you just hold your ground. You stay on top of the opponent. You can use it in both offensive and defensive. When it comes to punching, you can throw shots before, during and after. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's shots before and after. Before, during and after now. 1, 2, 3. 3 shots. That hook with the pivot is a wonderful move. 1, 2, 3. The hook actually gives you momentum to shift across. Fantastic move. More difficult to do with the backhand. So when you pivot that way, really, you're still constrained to before and after. When you pivot into your lead hand side, you can throw punches before, during, as long as it's a lead hand, and after. Fantastic. Really, really effective. Stuff like that. Amazing defensive options. You you can even do. So you can do the pivot, yeah? Bang. Opponent advances, you can do the pivot away. You can do a pivot and a lay back almost at the same time. So you pivot and lay back. So you almost widen your stance, push across. So you've got that lay back as well. And then you can throw a hook at the same time. Yeah. Centre line, opponent attacks, pivot, hook and lay back, come back to position. It's a bit exceptional. You get away with just that pivot and the hook. Especially because if you keep the hook and you keep your elbow high as you throw the shot, you're getting really good defensive options against any incoming right hand. So it's bang. So don't have your head up here while you're pivoting. None of that. From there. So as the elbows up, shoulders up, my chin's down, I'm in a really good defensive position. There you go. I'm going to stop. I hope you've picked some stuff up from that. Both are really good. Both have their uses. I'd say the pivot has more versatility, but then again, I think the pivot is probably the most versatile skill we use in boxing. It's an amazing skill. I'm going to stop. Don't forget, download your book, The Beginner Boxer Toolkit. There's a link there, and there'll be one down below as well. Cheers. Take care.